Hi everybody, today is Saturday. I identify as cute, and today's topic is self-harm and suicide. Also, today is the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, which is why I'm wearing these really cute little earrings. Anyhow, back to the serious talk. So the thing I'm going to talk about is my senior year of high school, which was miserable and disastrous. Because my junior year of high school, I figured out that I was transgender. I was sitting in the library in the periodicals room. I read an article in a magazine about transgender people, and I suddenly realized that I was one of them. And I tried talking to teachers and other students, not very many people, but I did come out to a few people, and they all told me that it was probably not a good idea for me to come out anymore. And it was probably not a good idea for me to come out at the high school I was at. And since it was a boarding school, there was not really anywhere else for me to go. It's just that school was my life 24/7 for most of the year. Which meant that the one place that I was all the time, and the one place that was sort of my home, I wasn't free to be myself there. And being aware of my gender and yet not being able to express myself made me so miserable and angry. And the thing about anger is some people can express their anger, some people can do things with it, like, I don't know, throw things, fight people, whatever, or create beautiful art, or write poems, stuff like that. I have never found a good way to express my anger when I have anger. So what it ends up becoming is depression, because now this is not a scientific fact or anything, but I read somewhere that depression is anger turned inward, and I believe that. And it is so anger-provoking to have people mistake who you are. In my senior year of high school, everyone was mistaken about who I was. And I wasn't even sure who I was, but I knew that I wasn't who everyone saw me as. And I stayed alive. I did not die. I did not kill myself. But that's not to say that the thought didn't occur to me on a very regular basis. I was afraid of telling people because I was afraid that I would get kicked out of school. And that school was my life. So I figured that it was safer not to tell anyone, but at the same time, it's kind of dangerous because I was having some very negative thoughts. But just the idea that I could be who I wanted to be, but I couldn't do it there. But the idea that I could do it somewhere was one thing that kept me going. Even though I felt really misunderstood and really angry. And there were little things that would just bother me so much. Like I had to wear a skirt to do tennis competitions, and it bothered me so much to wear that skirt. It also really bothered me when people would make sexist jokes or say mean things about women. It would bother me so much when, and this didn't happen often, but people talked about gender and they talked about people who were not binary, and they said negative things because it seemed to be always pretty negative. Like one time I heard people talking about women's colleges and how they visited a women's college, not the one I go to, but a different one. And they said, oh, well, they wouldn't really consider going there because the person giving the tour there just seemed to be too much of a pressure to be gay there because the person giving the tour had short hair and was wearing a binder. And when I heard that, it just made me so upset. But my high school just simply wasn't a safe place to come out as transgender. And it was very frustrating because they didn't know that, because I couldn't tell them that. But people would say, oh, well, I'm sure that insert name of my high school here is ready to accept their first transgender student. And I would just sit there going, I'm already here. And no, you're not. So anyway, I I have been tempted at lots of different points in time to harm myself. And so far, I never have. And that's a really good thing, and I'm glad. Because the past 2 years of my life have been really interesting and pretty great in a lot of ways. I've been in college, and I've learned so much stuff, so much interesting stuff, so much science, so much about the world from being in college. And I'm glad that I've existed for the past 2 years, so I'm really glad that I didn't hurt myself while I was still in high school. I'm really, really glad that I'm still here, because I wouldn't want to miss out. I wouldn't want to have missed out on all the friends I've made. I wouldn't want to have missed out on all of the good things about college. And also, I'm sure that there's going to be good things after college, too. I mean, that maybe life involves a lot of really sucky things, but on occasion, there's some really great things. Like when I watched the 50th anniversary episode of Doctor Who today with one of my friends. It was great. It was a really well-written, wonderful episode, and I'm glad I got to see it. Find the things that you want to stick around for, because there's going to be things. There's going to be really awesome, exciting things. And it's really, really, really hard to see that when you're in so much pain. But it's there. It's going to be there. You just have to stick around for it. So please, do stick around.